Hello YouTube. So if you're watching this video, you probably have dropped your Arctis headphone or it broke somehow and you were left with this an unhinged headset that doesn't really stay on your head, and when it does, it doesn't feel right. It feels really loose, and you know, these should have been premier headsets, but yeah, they're broke. So what we're gonna do today is we're going to fix this DIY, really easy, with things you probably have at home, and it's going to be real tight, almost like the new one. It's not going to look like a new one, but it's going to feel almost like a new one. So my first solution for this problem, and the way I used the headset for about a year, maybe more, was I would cut an old phone case of sorts, and I would use the plastic piece that I would get, just like this, as a padding, so it would not only fill the empty space, but actually stop the hinge from, you know, coming out and, yeah, coming out. So I would just unscrew the headset. First take the earpiece off, then unscrew it, and this way I would cut a piece of plastic that would fit right here. So give me 1 second. I'm not sure if you can see it, but here it is. And it would just fit like this. And then I would screw it back. 1 second. And look, it's filled. That way the phone doesn't, the earpiece doesn't fall off anymore, but it's still very loose, right? So we're going to work on another solution real quick. By now you should have noticed that my right earpiece of the headset is pierced. It has 4 holes in it. So what role do these holes do? Basically they're going to allow me to use some plastic cable wires to hold the earpiece in place. The way you want to do this is you want to try to place the, you know, this piece of the headset right above the headset in a natural fashion, just like the other side, the left side is. So you want to place them here. You see these holes? Right. So you want to place the headset here, and the way I did it was I used a flathead screwdriver, right? And then I made a few lines, a few marks here. So the place you see this hole right here, I just made a small line here and a small line here, and then I made a cross because you know, it's gonna make it easier to do the next step. So after making a cross, I would take a crosshead screwdriver, the smallest one I could find, and I would simply start working my way, rotating, slowly piercing through the plastic in a way to make these 2 holes, right? So this way, after I made the 2 holes in each side in a way that I could pass a plastic cable tie through them. So right here we have our earpiece open, the holes are already popped in, as you had seen before. And the way I did it the first time was I passed my cable tie through these holes. When doing so, please be careful to not make it hug any of these wires. You don't want the wires to be cut in, you just want the plastic. So you want to pass this bad boy here through the other hole, and here you have it. I'm redoing this because it wasn't the smartest way. This part of the wire could just have stayed inside, so I recommend you don't really do it this way. And remember, be very careful with the wires so you don't damage your headset and you're still able to hear from the right side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pass these, start these at least from the inside. So I'm going to take this back. and I'm going to make them go from the inside, at least start from the inside. So give me a second here. And then through the other side. Here. Again, make sure no wires are caught inside. And you can either make this real tight, or you can leave some space. I recommend you leave some space because the other earpiece naturally has some room to move. So you should probably try to leave some space. So here is how the headset is looking after I've made it the wire both ways, both wires. And now all we have to do is tighten these plastic cable wires. So again, be very careful not to catch any of the wires inside, as this may not only break the sound of the headset but mess up with the RGB of it. So right now we just have to pass these through the holes. So this is how the headset is looking after I've passed the plastic cable wire through the two holes I've just made, right? So it has gone both ways. It's going to look not new, you know. It's going to be visible that this has been fixed, but it's the way I have found. I would have used black or gray cable wires, but I don't have these, so it's going to be white, at least for now. So what you're going to do now is simply tighten it to your taste. I recommend you don't make it really tight, because you should have some degree of freedom here, you know, as you can see on the other earpiece. So I'm going to tighten this right now. Also be sure, once again, not to catch any of these wires inside of the cables, as you don't want to force them in any way. This is supposed to be only on the plastic. So now we're going to tighten these. And remember to leave some room so the earpiece can move a little bit, but not too much. At least if you don't want it to move too much. And now here it is. It moves a little bit, just like the other side. And now what is left to do is screw them. So actually it's still moving a little bit too much. Give me a second. Alright, this looks fine. Moves about as much as the other side. So now all we have to do is screw this back. And yeah, once it's all back in place, you can see the headset. You have some degree of freedom on the good side and also on the fake side. If you don't want it to move so much, you can tighten the cables, the plastic cable wires more inside of it, but I think this should be fine. You can also leave the little piece that tightens the cable outside if you want. So yeah, so you don't have to reopen the headset. But here it is. I hope this video has been helpful. Thanks.